The day after the budget, the Prime Minister defended all that spending and all that giveaways and all those handing out checks because he said people are in tough times. The cost of living has gone up. Well, it's gone up because of his taxes. Jay Goldberg is with the Canadian Taxpayers Federation, joins me right now. I mean, it's unbelievable how he justifies really turning Canada into a socialist state. Give us all the money and us bureaucrats will decide what you get.
Well, his solution to everything, if you're in recession, if you're in growth, if you're in slow growth, the solution to everything is spend more money. They're talking about these GST credits. Well, they're taking money out of one pocket and putting it back in the other. And they're raising the price of absolutely everything through their carbon tax, which is going up April 1st.
How can they, meaning the government, Friedland, how can they look at each other and say, well, it's costing so much for people to just get along these days, we have to give more money to them, handouts, when they're the reason why the cost of living is going up.
Yeah, they don't seem to recognize that housing prices have doubled in the last, several years. And so people can't afford a home, they can't afford groceries, they can't afford to fill up their gas tank. And the government's smiling and saying, just trust us, when they have no plan to balance the budget for a decade, more than a decade. There's zero plan in that budget. And they talked about restraint. Spending is up $38 billion compared to what they were going to do a year and a half ago. So it's out of control.
Is this Justin's grand plan to create such economic havoc that he has to increase the government by hundreds of thousands of employees, to decrease liberty of people, have them fill out forms, give them checks, and the government is going to be the be-all and end-all?
Well, we already have tens and tens of thousands of government employees that they've added. Private sector job growth over the last several years has not been good. What we've seen is a huge expansion of government at all levels, but especially at the federal level. And it seems that they've decided that the only way for people to do well is to be hired by the federal government, paid by the taxpayer, and somehow then they can afford everything. But I don't think you can hire all 38 million Canadians to work for the government without the country going down.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, this is not sustainable. So really, I mean, unless Canadians get up and say, we aren't going to take this anymore because you're going the wrong way, countries that used to do this are now in the toilet, and other countries, which started off after World War II completely destitute, like South Korea, are working ahead, and they've almost reached the standard of living of Canada. We're going backwards.
Canada fought so hard, especially in the 1990s, to get back from fiscal oblivion, and they're turning right around and taking us there again if they keep going this way for the next several years.
So you've got your work cut out for you.
We certainly
at the Taxpayers Federation.
We have our work cut out for us. There's been some provincial budgets that look good, but the federal one's a disaster.
Well, Jay, that's 3 minutes, and get to work. Thanks very much. A member of Parliament by the name of Trudeau forced a Conservative minister to resign because she paid $16 for orange juice in London. That's what it costs. That same Prime Minister now spent $6,000 of your money for every night he was in London recently. Your money. No problem with that because he is a Liberal. He is entitled. That's the imperial Prime Ministership of Trudeau. If you agree with him on that, don't watch the station. But if you think it's terrible and it's outrageous, please watch. Please donate if you can. Subscribe, PayPal, or send a check.